gender in the court, and maybe, just maybe, if we can fit it in, a little bit of Who Said That. So, sit back, buckle up, and hang on, because we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey! How the heck are you doing? Hey, I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are listening to The Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. Now, I've already told you what we're going to talk about. So, join me over on YouTube. Look me up in the chat. We're already getting some people over there in the chat room right now. We got Refill. He's talking about how he's got some honey-made s'mores cereal that he's snacking on. He's reminiscing about some Thin Mint cereal that we've talked about here on the show. One of these days, we're gonna have that's what I need to do. What's up, Slick? Woohoo! He's here. Hopefully Tina's with you as well. It wouldn't be a show without you. Oh yeah, more on that later, Jess. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's just get through this here bit, because I want to remind you there are many ways to listen. Or watch, that is. So, set this channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do, so you don't get left behind. Because if, for some strange, crazy, stupid reason, bless you, you do miss the show. Sorry, this is filmed before a live studio audience. Refill, I don't know what's so awkward. Slick says Tina's streamcasting on the big screen. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. I need a haircut. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's been a busy weekend. So yeah, sit tight. There's no need to panic because hey, I've got you. In the case you aren't already following over on the social medias, you can do so. Look me up on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Again, either one of those, Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. The nice thing about Gab, I've noticed, is you get a lot more than just 140 characters to say what you want to say. I'm sorry if you have me, oh boy. Slick says I ought to see my hair on the 60-inch screen. It's probably looking really bad. Here, I'll scoot up so you can't really see it all. You're getting me all mixed up. Okay, so yeah, Gab. And I apologize. I'm not so busy over on Gab as I have been on Twitter. Also, you guys know that I'm over on Facebook or Instagram. So, whatever your social site of your choosing is, wherever you're at, just search for The Stafford Voice, and I'm probably there. If not, hit me up on any of the other ones, or you can email me, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com, and I will hit you up however I have to. Okay. Speaking of which, head over to thestaffordvoice.com and check out some of the new stuff that I've put up over there. I know over the last week and a half, it seems like it's been forever since I got to talk with you guys. We needed to take a short little break, adjusting to the new night. That's right, this is our new night right here on Wednesdays. There's a killer lineup. Little Bunny Fufu, many of you guys know her as Polita Bunny on Twitter. She kickstarts this night of awesomeness. So yeah, this Wednesday I think is going to be a really, really good night. And the feedback that I've gotten from a lot of you guys, is that you're going to like it as well. That way you're not going to miss, football. You're not going to miss, if you're the baseball kind of guy or gal, then you might be missing a game right now. or you're watching the game on mute and you're listening or watching the show, whatever it is, we're trying to get to where you are able to interact with everybody else. We don't want you to feel left out because you're watching a replay. So anyway, yeah, we've got the conservative curmudgeon following Fu. Then after that, what do we got? We've got, I think, Jesse's point of view, and then you've got myself, and then, pulling up the rear, you got Rowdy Rick Robinson for America Off the Rails. It's just, Wednesday is just a kick-ass night. That's all I gotta say. I'll let you guys judge. So, let's jump into... Let me catch you up real quick. We took a quick break from doing a couple of shows. We were scheduled to do one on Monday. That didn't really work. We had some family stuff that was happening. Then we were going to try and pick it up on Wednesday. We've decided against that because we just needed to do some more planning. And there was some family stuff as well. All of that led up to... That's right. We are now officially grandparents. That's right. Those of you that are in the chat room right now. Yes. Apparently some people are butthurt because we get called Oma and Opa. You know who. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah. No, Refill, we're not covering any of the Google or Netflix stuff at all. As a matter of fact, it seems like lately we've been covering some of the weird, off-the-wall stories that it doesn't seem is getting a lot of traction, but I feel it's worth talking about, because these lead to a degeneration of society, and we really need to, we as a society need to get focused. We got to get back on the rails, because we have completely gone bat crap crazy in trying to accept all these different norms. And unfortunately, I'm not covering some of those other things like Trump versus the Norks, or we've got the Google Netflix thing. There are so many other things that we could talk about, and probably rightly so, we should be talking about them. But I think it's necessary that somebody pick up the slack, that is, and cover some of these other stories, these other things that have an equal impact on society. So, without that being said, what's the cap over my left shoulder? It is... Are you talking about this one? Slick? Or not Slick, I'm sorry, Refill. Is this the one you're talking about? That is the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act, it's actually the PAT Act. Let me see if I can get a link. Let me see if I can get a link up. I tried to apply and become one of their brand ambassadors. Because I really like these guys. I really like their products. And I like what they do. There you go. There is where you can pick up a hat. By the way, if you want to pick one up or you pick up a shirt, let them know that you saw it through the Stafford Voice. I'm still waiting to kind of hear back from them, so it is what it is. I'm not really anticipating it actually happening, but whatever. Okay, so that's right. The big reveal. The grandbaby is here. Mr. Gavin Edward Stafford. Let me see. I've got to have... Yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We've got some of those sound effects. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, calm down. Calm down. It's gonna be okay. I'm not just... No, you can't just say that because he is cuter than hell. I'm biased, but even if you take that out, he is a cute little kid. He is. Yeah. And it makes that's awesome. Anyway. Okay. Refill says he had no idea there was a live studio audience. Okay, some of that was effect, but yes, there is a live studio audience. One person. And as a matter of fact... What? The cat, too, yes. The other day was International Cat Day. I did not have a picture with me. Otherwise, I would have shared that. So, yes. Mr. Gavin Edward Stafford is finally here. He has made his triumphant entrance into the world. It seemed like it was going to take forever. It was like 3 hours later. Yes, it was ridiculous. Poor Jess was in there for like 3 hours. I mean, the kid just wanted to just... That was just the push. Well, that's what I meant. That's what I said. She was in there for 3 hours pushing. Okay? And then it was... there was 9 months before that. Can you count all of that? Okay, so yes, beautiful, beautiful boy. He's healthy. He is just everything that we would have ever prayed for and hoped for. He is just melt your heart. It is. We're never gonna get to the show if you keep going on about Gavin. Hey, at least I don't, and actually I thought about putting them putting some pictures up here. Sorry, I was trying to... It's hard to talk and read the comments. I'm trying to keep up. Apparently Refill's not wearing his pants. So, yes, Refill, put your pants back on. People can see you. No. Oh. I'm scaring him, trying to get him to put his pants on. That's weird. I don't think you're going to scare him. No, we're probably not going to scare him, but he probably is. So, anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? You guys have seen what we've posted on the Facebook and the Twitters and the Instagrams. You guys have judged for yourself. He is one cute, cute little boy. Next time, as a matter of fact, they're coming over for dinner tomorrow. We're going to grill out some chicken, and I think we're going to have some green beans with bacon, mac and cheese. We are going to have some homemade ice cream. The kids have not tried my homemade ice cream yet, but it is fantastic, and it is fat-free. I use fat-free ingredients. And I bought it. Thank you very much. I wish that I could share it with all of you guys, but we're going to just continue on with the show. Okay, so, by a show of hands. See what I did there? Okay. Actually, they could tell me that they're raising their hand in the chat room. So here's the thing. How many of us remember back in school you would get stressed out if you were taking a test? Not. Okay, guilty. I got to raise both hands because when we went through the BYU Idaho program, being able to do everything online, let me tell you, you talk about stress, that was stressful. Ridiculous. Get this. This is beyond ridiculous. You want to talk about dumbing down society, dumbing down the next generation of people. This is why we can't cure cancer. Right here. Because of ignoramus professors like this. You can choose your own grades to reduce your stress. That's right. That's right. Hang on, wait, there's more. This is not an infomercial, but I'm selling the crap out of this guy. I would have been at least an A- student. No, I'm hard on myself. I would be not hard on you. Oh! Okay. Whoa. Gotta continue on with the show. The show must go on. Okay. A professor at the University of Georgia will allow his fall semester students to pick their own grades in an effort to reduce the stress levels of his students. That's right. The University of Georgia Terry College of Business data management professor Rick Watson. Quote, this is in an effort to, quote, his stress reduction policy, explaining that even though students may refer to their notes and books during testing, they can still request and be granted a grade change. What the hell is wrong with this? Okay, this is according to his course syllabus. Quote, emotional reactions to stressful situations can have profound consequences for all involved. In order to avoid such situations in this class, the following policies will apply. If you feel unduly stressed by a grade for any accessible material or the overall course, you can email the instructor indicating what grade you think is appropriate, and it will be so changed. No explanation is required, but it is requested that you consider waiting 24 hours before emailing the instructor, because, you need time to think about it. Here's another one. If in a group meeting you feel stressed by your group's dynamics, you should leave the meeting immediately and need offer no explanation to the group members. Furthermore, you can request to discontinue all further group work, and your grade will be based totally on non-group work. Oh my gosh. Okay. They go on to talk about his extremely lax testing policy. All tests will be open book and open notes, including the use of a laptop. All tests are designed so that the majority of students can finish in half the allotted time, and students are expected to achieve only, quote, low-level mastery of the course material. So, yeah, sure. You don't even have to know the shit, and you can pass the damn class just because, well, you're stressed and your dog ate your homework. But then again, if this was math class, you could just call racism, because, if you go over to the StaffordVoice.com, we have a write-up on that, yes, algebra is now a civics issue. Only, quote, only positive comments about presentations will be given in class. Comments designed to improve future presentations will be communicated by email. So if you suck, they're just going to tell you it was nice, and then they're going to email you and say, hey, it sucked. Now, although Watson said he recognized his style of teaching might not help students achieve a higher understanding of the course material, no shit, Sherlock, he tossed that responsibility back on his students. Yeah, because after all, they're the ones paying for this class. They're paying to be cheated. Let's see. Refill asks, and this is a professor at a major university? Yes. Which university, you ask? The University of Georgia, Terry College of Business Data Management. How the hell does he think he is preparing them for real life? This is asinine. I completely agree. Slick says, stress, these people are nuts. Squirrels have more stress than they do, and squirrels have more nuts than I do. Awkward. The silence for that joke was awkward. I was fully expecting something on that. No? No? Okay. You're not going to play along? Okay. Okay, so he goes on to say, while this policy might hinder the development of group skills and mastery of the class material, ultimately these are your responsibility. I will provide every opportunity for you to gain high-level mastery. Yeah, because, that whole word responsibility is such a big word. It's so big. The concept of taking responsibility for your own actions and being responsible for... Daniel wasn't silent. He was laughing over there. Thanks for that, Jess. Okay. Look. If you're shelling out all the money for higher level education, you would fully expect that the course material is going to be difficult. It's going to stress you out a little bit. In the real world, you don't just get to pull out a piece of paper and say, hey, I'm stressed. You need to stop because I'm going to get emotional right now. And I can't do this. I'm going to have a breakdown.
How many breakdowns?
Shit, I can remember freaking up till like 10, 11 o'clock at night doing math over back here on the dry erase boards, helping Mrs. TSV over here figure out simple algebra.
Okay, you make me so dumb.
But it's okay. Algebra's racist.
But I did.
You did cry a lot. I cried inside for you. I felt your pain.
But
You are. And you learned a little bit more how to figure out the area of a triangle if you were to build of a triangle garden, which was one of the stupidest questions we ever had to answer. Okay. Speaking of one of the stupidest questions I think I've heard, this story actually comes by... Okay. Listen, this one was sent to us. And I really want you guys to know that if you guys send me stuff, I take it into serious consideration. And right before the show, refill and... sorry. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm sorry. I stink with names. Oh, it was at Dawn's Fire on Twitter. They were talking about how I need to take a look at something. I'm going to look at it. So anyway, because they said it's, what was the term she used? Horribad. It was horribad. So I will be looking at it in the morning. But anyway, this one was sent to me on Twitter. I think it was by DM at Double Chunk. Again, over on the Twitters, he sent me this one. Oh, was it persnickety? I don't know. I can't keep up. Okay, so here's what he sent me. Why are lesbian teens having 2 to 7 times as many babies as their heterosexual peers? Immediately, that headline brought me in. That's more than clickbait right there. So here's how it starts out. One thing you would think lesbians wouldn't have to deal with is pregnancy. Seems like a solid assumption, right? Not so much. Okay, shit, I can't keep up. I'm just scrolling through on the Twitter trying to figure it out real quick. Persnickety is Dawn's Fire. Dawn's Fire is persnickety. Got it. Thank you for the clarification. They caught me during the middle of show prep. I was actually trying to read this story right here about lesbians are having 2 to 7 times. Can you get... Seriously, wrap your head around that for just a second. Let me read the headline to you again. Why are lesbian teens having 2 to 7 times as many babies as their heterosexual peers? Seriously, how the hell does a lesbian get pregnant by another lesbian? They can't. Now, don't you go assuming that the male is a man. That's sexist. Negative. Okay, nope, I'm putting a check mark next to your name.
Okay, so...
No, you can take a turkey baster and squirt that shit up there.
That's gross.
That's gross. We're moving on.
I don't think I can...
We're moving on. It says right here, numerous studies across many nations find that sexual minority youth aged 14 to 19 have pregnancy rates 2 to 7 times greater than their heterosexual peers, and their pregnancy rates continue to rise at a time when the overall teen pregnancy rate is declining in the U.S.? Oh, so in this article, they ask this question, how and why is this happening? He says, after I presented this information to an acquaintance, he said, quote, sorry, Slick, if I didn't say it, either you or Refill was going to, or Nero was going to say it, and he's picking up what we're throwing down. Okay, so quote, that's scientifically impossible. Agreed. But that's only true if you assume that being gay or lesbian is a sexual absolute, the way someone is unchangeably what they are. Unless biology has transformed overnight, it means women who identify as lesbians are having a whole lot of guy sex. No shit. Golly. This is a scientific paper? What the hell? And gay identified youth are having a great deal of girl sex. Okay, so let's continue. Being gay or lesbian is supposed to be absolute and unchangeable, like sex, race, or ethnicity. This pregnancy phenomenon confounds that narrative in a dramatic way, and it can't be ignored. Yeah, I mean, okay, seriously, if you guys saw, who was that posted the seat belts, fasten your seat belts thing? Anyway,
Oh, I saw that.
you saw that?
I did. What was
I don't know.
the picture in my head?
Yeah, they were rainbow-colored seat belts, and
Two of them did.
two.
Right?
Yeah, that's the same type of situation we're looking at right here. Okay, so could it be that being lesbian or gay is not quite as absolute or fixed as gender theorists want us to believe? Kind of makes you wonder. Sure, lesbians could occasionally veer off their path and get pregnant. Gays could do the same and end up making babies. I mean, they're gay, and they're lesbians. It wouldn't be that surprising. I would think it would be. I mean, if you're choosing to be gay or a lesbian, then whatever. Women, right, and the stupid stories that are going around where the male transgender guy gives birth to baby boy and whatever. We've talked about that here on the show before. Long time ago. I know. Can I continue on? They talk about stuff like this in here. Okay. It wouldn't be that surprising, but think about what we have going on here. We know that as a whole, heterosexual youth are more sexually active than nearly every adult would wish, and their pregnancy rates are too high as well. It's a national concern. But gays and lesbians have a 2 to 7 times greater rate of pregnancy and double the rate of abortion. That's where these things get sad. By the way, I don't know when, but we're going to have a show really, really in-depth on the topic of abortion. So if you guys have questions or things you would like us to take a look at before we dive too far into the abortion topic, I would really like to hear. I would really like to hear from you guys. And I will do my absolute best to answer any and all questions. So, again, gays and lesbians have a 2 to 7 times greater rate of pregnancy and double the rate of abortion. It's just really sad. Here's something else that I found that was particularly sad, and this, let's see, it says in her important book, Sexual Fluidity. So they're talking. He asks another question. Refill, you're gonna have to. Here's what I'm gonna ask. If you're interested in the topic of abortion, email anything and everything to me, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com, and I will put it all together, and then we'll get there. Not the Constitution, the Declaration says right to life. I completely agree, Refill. Okay, so he in this study, or whatever he calls it, he asks the question: is sexual orientation fluid and changeable? So now he's talking about this book, Sexual Fluidity. Let's see. Slick says gays and lesbians' whole identity is wrapped around their sexuality and sexual choices. That is a lot of influence. I completely agree. So, Professor Lisa Diamond laments the mistaken assumption that lesbianism is fixed like male homosexuality, and argues that this belief is the result of gay normativity and male prejudice in gay research. Now, wait a minute. Let me just stop, because that finally hit me. And I read this earlier, and I kind of put a little highlight next to this. It's a mistaken assumption that lesbianism is fixed like male homosexuality is? No. They make that choice, and then they force it on everybody else. No, you need to accept me. We're sword fighters. No, we are suction cuppers. You force it on us. But yet, you want to go out and drive a stick instead of an automatic. It doesn't work that way. You can't force your sexual preference, whether you're gay or lesbian, on the rest of society, and behind closed doors, invite your male friend or your female friend over. That's not being gay, and that's not being homosexual. That's being try whatever you want before you buy it. Let's continue. She's hopeful that this has changed slightly in the last decade, revealing a picture of male and female sexual orientation as distinct phenomena instead of two sides of the same coin. It reveals that one of the fundamental defining features of female sexual orientation is its fluidity, a situation-dependent flexibility in women's sexual responsiveness, making it possible for women to desire either men or women under certain situations, regardless of their general identified sexual orientations. If this is true, it means lesbianism is not an orientation as we popularly understand the term today, Diamond concludes. This is why a woman like Anne Hesh can suddenly find herself falling madly in love with Ellen DeGeneres after an exclusively heterosexual past and present, and why a longtime lesbian can experience her very first other sex attractions in her 40s. No, it just means you're freaking sick in the damn head. And you're almost 40. I get it. I get it. Your birthday was yesterday. You turned 39. One more year, you can claim being sick in the head. Right, because you're with me. We're going to continue. I know you're not attracted to women. I don't even know how you're attracted to me. Must be my staggering sense of humor. Hey, don't step on my blue suede shoes. Not only is female sexuality itself fluid, but so are the personal identifiers women choose for themselves. Remarkably, more than 50% of women who had both male and female partners in the last year identify not as bisexual or lesbian, but as heterosexual. 11% of women who have known only female sex partners identify as heterosexual, and remarkably, only 19% of women who've ever had sex with another woman consider themselves either lesbian or homosexual. A young woman recently told me that she's a lesbian, but her sexual attraction is to men. We've spent enough time on that one. I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. Because apparently women aren't that into pole vaulting. Okay. Huh?
Only a small percentage.
Yeah. Only... I see what you did there.
I wasn't doing anything.
Only a small percentage? Yes. Huh? Wait.
You're being mean today.
The blue suede shoes joke. Yeah. My mother used to, tease me with Elvis crap.
Oh my god.
I'm not even going to get on that, but would you touch it with if I had a 9-foot pole? Hey, slick? I don't know. If he's got a 9-foot pole and he can reach me from 9 feet away, no, I don't want to touch it. Okay. Can we get some order in the court? I mean, gender in the court. That's right. Gender in the court. This headline sent my blood pressure through the roof when I saw this. I tucked this one away the other. You see what I did? They saw what I did. I tucked it away. I duct taped that one away. Here's the headline. 8-year-old sues private school over gender identity. That's right. Apparently now minors can go to court. No, they can't, because if you read this, you realize, we'll get to it here in just a second. An 8-year-old student identified as transgender is suing a private school in Orange Country, California, for failing to let the child express a preferred gender identity. I think we just explained everything by saying it was in California. The lawsuit, filed August 2nd, alleges that Heritage Oak Private School violated the UNRRA Act, or UNRU Civil Rights Act, that is, which outlaws discrimination based on sex or sexual orientation because it wouldn't allow Nikki Brar to wear the school's girls' uniform, use the girls' bathroom, or be called a she. The suit is particularly noteworthy, they state here, because it is the first transgender rights case, if you will, to use a state anti-discrimination law as one of the grounds for relief. That is according to Mark Rosenbaum, director of the Pro Bono Public Counsel Opportunity Under Law. Okay, story behind the story on this one. Nikki's parents filed the suit against Heritage Oak, its executive director, Phyllis Seigan, and the school's parent group, Nobel Learning Communities. They seek damages for emotional distress and discrimination, as well as more than $10,000 for school tuition and fees. They also ask Heritage Oak to write a non-discrimination policy specifically for transgender students and demand that the school teach lessons on transgender identity in the classroom. According to Nikki's mother, whose name is Priya Shah, I'm kind of interested as to how everybody in this story has different names. The mother and the son, that is. Nikki's last name is Brar, but Priya, the mother, her last name is Shah. I don't know. Must be a broken home type thing. I don't know. Maybe. That's true. It's California. Who knows? Okay, so continuing. It honors our child's commitment to being who she is despite adversity. It's our small contribution toward ensuring that other transgender and gender-expansive children do not go through the same hardship and trauma. It is worthy to note that Nobel Learning Communities released a statement after the lawsuit stating, "We believed it was extremely important to respond, not hastily, but with deliberate care, to decide when and how to inform and educate our entire elementary school community of students, staff, and parents about the mid-year change of gender identity expression of a young child. Unfortunately, these accommodations were rejected and the parents withdrew their child." Now, according to an attorney named Asaf Orr, that's O-R-R, says they have to create a private school environment that's safe and supportive for all students. He is the attorney, that is, for the National Center for Lesbian Rights' Transgender Youth Project. Why in the hell is that even a thing, I ask? I don't know. I really don't know. This is... Sorry, but this really is sad. This whole pushing the envelope on the ideas that we have to push sexuality. The child is 8 years old. 8! When I was 8 years old, I couldn't figure out what the hell Hot Wheel I wanted to play with. Did I want to use the truck? Did I want to use the car? Did I want to use the ramp? Hell, I didn't know. I just wanted to dig a fucking hole in the dirt and drive my Hot Wheels through them. I wanted to go out. You shouldn't be thinking about being a boy and sitting down to pee in the girls' room because you tuck. Okay?
But that's just not.
Tucks are for something else. Those are for hemorrhoids. It really concerns me that as a society, we are allowing this. Why are we allowing this? I don't know. And Slick, I'm right there with you. When I was 8 and we would play football out in the middle of the street, we were dodging cars. We weren't dodging boys and girls in the same bathroom. No. That's not what we were doing. We were dodging cars so we wouldn't get hit while we were out playing football or soccer in the middle of the road or playing stickball or riding our bikes up and down the roads trying not to hit parked cars or riding wheelies, learning how to ride wheelies. Yes. When the bugs started flying around the lamppost, when they flickered on, it was time to get your ass home. It wasn't time to decide if you were a boy or a girl. I will admit, I was very successful. I had other kids in the neighborhood that were not so successful at dodging cars. He got just creamed by that car. I mean, he was thrown probably 15 feet. I was really worried, to be honest. I mean, the guy was speeding that hit him, and we were going around the corner. Luckily, he was fine. He had a couple of scrapes and bruises. He lost his, he got his wind knocked out of him, but Nero, don't tell me to watch my language, okay? Remember who you're talking to here, pal. Okay? Remember who you're talking to. He better be asleep. It's past his bedtime. Okay. Now, how do we follow up talking about an 8-year-old suing through its parents, suing their school because over the whole gender identity thing? How do we transition from that? Easy. On March 25th, 2016, the American College of Pediatrics reaches its decision. Transgenderism of children is child abuse. That's right, they issued a statement condemning gender reclassification in children by stating that transgenderism in children amounts to child abuse. Quote, the American College of Pediatricians urges educators and legislators to reject all policies that condition children to accept as normal a life of chemical and surgical impersonation of the opposite sex. Facts, not ideology, determine reality. Their policy statement, which was authored by Johns Hopkins Medical School psychology professor Paul McHugh, listed 8 arguments on why gender reclassification is harmful. We could follow up with Honey Maid S'mores cereal, but let's see. Nero says if it was Apple Jacks or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, yes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, by far the best cereal in the world. Second to that would be probably Honeycombs, and then third would be Captain Crunch All Berries. I don't eat Honey Grams. Captain Crunch All Berries is the gift that keeps on giving, just like corn. Parents of small children who have allowed their kids to drink grape Kool-Aid know what I'm talking about. By the way, Nero, you will shortly understand that in the next few years. Oh yeah, we're going to give him grape Kool-Aid. It's okay. You'll see why. Okay, so let's look at these 8 different things, and we're going to have to buzz through these kind of quick. I'm going to warn you now. We are not going to have an after the show, so as soon as the show is done, we are wrapping things up. I've got a list of other things I need to work on afterwards. So here we go. Number 1, human sexuality is an objective biological binary trait. XY and XX are genetic markers of health, not genetic markers of a disorder. 2, no one is born with a gender. Everyone is born with a biological sex. Gender, an awareness and sense of oneself as male or female, is a sociological and psychological concept, not an objective biological one. Number 3, a person's belief that he or she is something they are not is, at best, a sign of confused thinking. When an otherwise healthy biological boy believes he is a girl, or an otherwise healthy biological girl believes she is a boy, an objective psychological problem exists that lies in the mind, not the body, and it should be treated as such. Number 4, sorry, I was looking over at the chat room. Number 4, puberty is not a disease, and puberty-blocking hormones can be dangerous. Reversible or not, puberty-blocking hormones induce a state of disease, the absence of puberty, and inhibit growth and fertility in a previously biologically healthy child. Number 5, according to the DSM-5, as many as 98% of gender-confused boys and 88% of gender-confused girls eventually accept their biological sex after naturally passing through puberty. Number 6, children who use puberty blockers to impersonate the opposite sex will require cross-sex hormones in late adolescence. Cross-sex hormones, testosterone and estrogen, are associated with dangerous health risks, including but not limited to high blood pressure, blood clots, stroke, and cancer. Number 7. Rates of suicide are 20 times greater among adults who use cross-sex hormones and undergo sex reassignment surgery, even in Sweden, which is among the most LGBT-affirming communities, or countries, that is. Last but not least, number 8. Conditioning children into believing a lifetime of chemical and surgical impersonation of the opposite sex is normal and healthful is child abuse. Kudos to the College of Pediatrics that actually put this out. It's nice that they finally came out and put a stance to this. Now, as you could expect, the left went bat crap crazy. Here's what they said. Sorry, again, I'm trying to get caught up with what's happening over in the chat. Think Progress described the American College of Pediatricians as a, quote, hate group masquerading as pediatricians. The Huffington Post said that, once again, Paul McHugh has used the ever more tarnished name of Johns Hopkins to distort science and spread transphobic misinformation. No, I think he kind of quoted science. Isn't that funny how the party of science, the Democrats, the left-leaning people in the world, tend to think that they totally disregard science whenever it doesn't play into their favor? I mean, McHugh, who authored this, says human sexuality is an objective biological binary trait. XY and XX. That's really pointing at science. Science will tell you XY is this and XX is that. You can't argue with it. I'm done. You know what? Yeah. I want to make time for this. We haven't done one of these in a while. So, you guys Prepare yourselves for this. You haven't had one in a while, but it's that time. That's right, it's time for Who Said That? And, well, if it's been a while and you need a refresher course, Who Said That is just a little segment we like to throw in at the end where we make fun of somebody who has completely removed all doubt and proved without a shadow of a doubt that they are completely stupid. It doesn't matter if they are a Republican, a Democrat, a conservative, or a liberal or libertarian for that matter. It does not matter at all. We're not judging, but tonight you'll see on your screen that we're trying to judge whether this is who we're trying to decide if this is who we think it is. Shall we? Oh, you gotta hit play, silly.
Organized public policy.
Do you think black people should start their own political party?
To do what?
Should start their own political party?
No, not at this point. You've got to show that you're willing and you're able to put the numbers together and exercise your influence. We still are not voting our influence yet. I think what we should do is organize our power, exercise our power, particularly in the Democratic Party, because that's where most of us are. We should go to the conventions. We should be delegates. We should run for office, do all of that, and then you can raise that kind of question, whether or not we're strong enough to talk about organizing another party.
Got you. Who do you think will be the Dem?
Okay, that's right. I've got to give a round of applause to Slick himself. Mad Max Waters. I like that. Mad Max Waters. Maxine Waters. That's right. That, in an interview with the Breakfast Club, she was asked if there was a possibility that there could be an all-black political party. She answered by saying, no, not at this point. Where are we at on time? I got 20. Holy crap. Oh. And she says, no, not at this point. And then she goes into talking about how you have to put numbers together and exercise your influence. And that they're not even voting their influence. Whatever the hell that means. Voting your influence. I need Mad Max to, help me on that one. Listen, she would be one of the first people to get in line and cry racism if somebody tried to create an all-white party, or an all-Mexican party, or an all-Chinese party, or an all-Muslim political party. She would cry racism, that we need to include blacks. Guaranteed. And now she's entertaining the idea that we could one day have an all-black political party. At some point, we've got to realize that as long as we continue to bring up the idea of racism, it will still be here. We need to, move forward. As long as people continue to put the car in reverse and go backwards, it's always going to be here. So, Mad Max Waters, you're an idiot. And hat tip to Slick on that one for coming up with calling her Mad Max Waters. I like that. Okay. That sound that we heard just a second ago, that tells us that's all the time we have for this week. God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week, right here on Mondays, or not Mondays. Woo! Wake up! Wake up. Wednesday. Oh, I almost forgot. Wednesday. The Stafford Voice will be back next week, live on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Follow me on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Look me up on Facebook or Instagram by searching for the Stafford Voice. Email your questions, comments, or concerns, love mail, hate mail, whatever, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, that is thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. I want to thank you so much for your time. You guys are more than friends. You guys are family, and I really hope you start understanding that soon. Until next week, thanks and God bless.